Street culture keep the big show with one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. They hide the corruption inside the cup, look how we evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1,500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look where the oil money going.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing.
Of course you have a relationship with Sue. Of course you have a relationship with Tom, Dick, and Harry. Hey, good night. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benchop. 8 minutes after 9 o'clock. Now, here's what's going on. We're fighting for turf now. It's a turf war. You get David Hines was still on moments ago. Duncan is on now. God in heaven knows who else is on. So we might as well just call it a night, right? Because we're all supposed to be on the opposition side, but everybody's running over everybody's time. One of the reasons why I just stick to this, I'm the last end of this relay. Everybody else in this relay, they start their time, they hand over the baton, they start their time and whatever. I am supposed to look and just collect this. This is the last lap for the night. But nobody wants to give up. Everybody wants to do their show. Everybody's running around at the same time. Everybody's running over everybody's time. What do you guys think about that, man? We might as well, Mary, tell me. Well, we have two Mary. We have Mary Ann Hamilton. We have Mary Figueroa. What do you guys think? Ann John and the entire crew, and Mavis and Adams and Jackie and Cummings, and we might as well just call it a night, right, Rhonda? Because everybody's. I mean, I'm not complaining. No, I'm not complaining. But if we're running a relay, well then, anyways, Ms. Barrington, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, I think Ann John is on to something. Ann John said, everybody wants to be in the spotlight, right? Everybody wants to be in the spotlight. Nobody knows to do their show and just go. And everybody wants to. Everybody's running. It's an elections year, right? But if it's not coordinated, I'm sorry, I'm not griping. It doesn't really matter. But I'm just saying that, if we're going to approach this elections and kick the PPP out, and I really do, and put sensible people in office. You can't just any paku, just pick them up from some trench corner. Right? Sorry about that. Pick them up from some trench corner, any paku. People who don't really care about you guys. Be careful. I ain't done warning you guys yet, Be careful. Be careful. Oops. Can't say me never did a warn you, huh? Just how are you doing? And all of you. And it says she's watching me and Belma simultaneously. Are you going to do something like that? Where's Wayne Caesar? He says, good night, freedom fighters. Good night, Mr. Caesar. All right. So I'm just going to sit and wait until everybody else is done. Something isn't adding up. It doesn't make sense, It doesn't make sense, guys. Sometimes you wonder, right? And John and others, sometimes you got to wonder, right? Rajan, lagu bagus indeed. But sometimes you got to really wonder, one of the reasons we got this 9 o'clock hour, not to gripe on this, is so that it can be well coordinated. Everybody, you get your spot, you're done. Next, get this spot done. Next, simple as that. It's done with. When the PPP, when they were in the opposition, they used to operate their tin and cup radio station called Freedom Radio. I don't know what's free about that, but that's a different story. Those guys used to coordinate. When one off, another one come. When one off, another one come. When on with the opposition side, guess what? Everybody fighting for spot. Everybody fighting for spot. They don't care who they are, right, Rajan? Everybody fighting for a spot. Every single body fighting for a spot. Everybody fighting for a spot. That's just how they operate. Anyways, guys, what's happening? We'll do our thing, and we will rock and roll right here on 107.1 FM. Drag them away, bring them over this side. Go, catch them. You like what? James Bond? They put James Bond for catch now? Good night, guys. How was your weekend? Hope all is well with you. We have a couple of things we want to discuss, and as you all know, today happens to be the 10th anniversary of the assassination of, let me see if you guys remember this young man's name. 10th anniversary, death anniversary of this young man who was assassinated under the corrupt PPP, the murderous PPP regime. At that time, Curtis, there's that certain language we don't use here. Just, if you can't take a little pun, a little humor, it's not the language we use here. Next. So this is what happens. So 10 years ago, Courtney Crummy was assassinated. I repeat, Courtney Crummy was assassinated under the PPP regime. He was murdered under the PPP regime. Donald Ramotar was the minority president at that time, and he was murdered. And certain so-called business people and all these folks were all part of the murderous gang. Some of those so-called business people, they know who they are, dressing up now, trying to paint themselves as though they're angels now. The phantom squads, killing squads, and all these different things. That is what they were doing. So that is why I'm saying to you guys, do not jump in the bosom of individuals who now are pretending as though they love you guys and that they can save Guyana. Those Pacus are not interested in saving Guyana. They're not interested in saving you. They are more about saving themselves. And if some of you cannot read between the lines, well, something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. If all you cannot read between the lines, something is definitely wrong. Suddenly people jump out, and you know them that we're talking about. The pressure going to increase, but slowly but surely the pressure will increase, and suddenly they're jumping out now, giving you the impression that they like you, that they can do something for you. Oh no, they can't. But we're gonna get down to that though. It's all about saving themselves. That's what it's about. And some of you, if you come a little closer, I got something to tell you. Some of you are quick to jump, no matter what crimes folks are alleged to have committed, whether it's terrorism, whether it's assassination, whether it's money laundering, whether it's gold smuggling. Some of y'all didn't care. Oh, no. Y'all going to bring in the Bible. Y'all going to bring in the Bible and say this body did bad in the Bible to justify a situation. But you ask some of them to forgive some of their own leaders who have been there with them. You're quick to dismiss your own leaders. You don't want to forgive them. You don't want to forgive some people around you. But you're going to run and you don't care what Paku done. You say, oh, God is a forgiving God. But yet you're holding malice against your own leaders them. Yet you don't want to see your own leaders them. Yet you don't want to give your own leaders them a chance and try to shuffle this card up properly and to ensure that we have, good people leading Guyana. Y'all don't care about that. Any Paku, any flounder, any tilapia, any huri, y'all want to just stick and fry up and cook up and tell people that it's a good meal to serve. Politically speaking, that is, right? Y'all be careful, because Guyana ain't get good to get if y'all didn't make the right decision. And making the right decision, it's not about emotions. It's not about stardom, so-called fake stardom. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about betterment for Guyana. And if you want betterment for Guyana, y'all got to choose good people. They might not be perfect, but they're close enough. And when y'all jump all because of emotions, somebody throw a little, oops. Thank you. Somebody throw another little piece of, oops. Thank you. It's just for today. Do you think that is going to last forever? Do you think that is going to develop Guyana? No, it cannot. It cannot develop Guyana at all. So what you're doing is you want to remove a set of murderers from office and replace them with one or two other same. How is that good for Guyana? You see, I noticed my friend, I'm not picking on him, he's my buddy. I don't care what he does, he's my buddy. Whether you run electrical cars, them nice or not, but he's good at his work though, mind you. So this is what Sherwin is saying. Sherwin is saying he's willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of the Jagabats. Fair enough. Can't disagree with you on that. But here is where I have an issue with, is the whatever. Right? I know where you're coming from with that. You got to be careful. Y'all got to be careful. I keep saying it to all you again. I know all you desperate, yes, to see the backs of the corrupt PPP regime. But it's got to be with proper people. You know what desperation causes? It makes a lot of desperation could put you in a deeper hole. We're already where we are, but what we need to do is a clever plan to rise above where we are right now. And Guyana wouldn't go anywhere unless there are proper people in place. Proper people in place. And so what some of you guys are saying, that, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anybody come on, So you're cooking a pot of food, good food. And then somebody come and throw all sorts of different meat in it to spoil your food, all because you want a bigger pot than your neighbor. And you want to outshine your neighbor. And you're in care. You're in care. We got to pause for a moment, guys. We have to pause for a moment. Guyana is not heading down the right track at all. Politics has gone haywire. Any Paku now. Once they beat a drum and they get a little money and they catch it. Right, sorry about that. Right. Be careful. Be careful. Not everybody that give you $1 likes you, you know. Some may give you $2, some may give you $10, but they don't like you. They want to divert attention. They want to brainwash you, and they want to control you. Be careful. Oops, and they're throwing by. Y'all got to be careful where the money. Look, y'all catching it, right? Be careful, guys. That's all I'm saying. Be careful. The people who suddenly coming to tell you that they love you and they like you and they want justice for you. Not me. And not because I am not going to use that to say that. Thank you, Leroy Nelson. I see that smile and I know what that smile is about. Right? Be careful. Leroy Nelson, help me join them and let them be careful. What else is happening, guys? I'm done. I'm done with that. Y'all could talk out of emotions. Some of y'all, that is. I'm done with that. It's my opinion. I am done with that. I ain't saying nothing more. I'm done with that. I've been around long on this earth. A very long time I've been around. And I understand to some extent, I understand. And emotion is not going to get a better part of me. No, not emotions. Good things. And you can't want good things and then mix it up with bad apples. It spoils everything. One bad apple in this election, one bad apple, one horrible apple, no matter how good it may look. Remember the story. Was it the serpent who looked, oops, my mouse, right? It looks like an apple. Are you sure? Because the apple looks good, right? One bite can cause problems. And that is where Guyana is right now. One bite of that bad apple that appears tempting to some of you guys. Oh, wow. Be careful, guys. Be careful. Like, for example, with Sherwin Green. Sherwin Green is an electrician. And he's darn good at his job, too. I'm giving him a free plug here. Sherwin Green, he's right there somewhere in the comments section. One bad connection with that wire, that electrical wire, Sherwin. One bad connection. You can't run to save because you want lights all over the place. And you get that bad connection could destroy everything. Everything could blow up. And that is where Guyana is right now, politically speaking. And so therefore, you got to be careful how you connect the wires. You can't just because your neighbor get a little small light and you want to pull wires from all over because you want to outshine your neighbors. It can cause problems. The entire village can blow up. Be careful, guys. You want good leaders. You want good people in office. They might not all be perfect. But then again, you got to look at individuals and you have to ask yourself this question. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Think about Guyana. Think about 10, 15, 20 years from now. Think about when we're not here any longer. Where is Guyana going to be if we keep putting it into the hands of gangsters? Everybody wants these hustlers in the PPP. Mind you, the PPP know all of the hustlers. They have facilitated the hustlers. And some of them in the coalitions facilitated some of those hustlers as well. Has it gotten Guyana anywhere? And now speaking of that now, the hustlers. I have an issue with this here. GRA demands over 900 million in unpaid taxes for them Mohammed people who get sanctioned, what is supposed to be wanted, who are supposed to be wanted by U.S. law enforcement agencies for drugs, allegations, mind you, drugs, money laundering, terrorism, assassination, gold smoke, all these sort of things. You can't say people are dreaming, but the headline here says $900 million. in unpaid taxes, and these are people who want, you know what these unpaid taxes would have done? Guyana needs a government, someone who's the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, that wouldn't tolerate these sort of corruption, evasion of taxes, and all these manner of things. And all those who are owed taxes, regardless of who they are, should pay up their taxes. But here is where the PPP is now showing its true colors. All the while, the PPP wasn't concerned about luxury vehicles going in by these people, these overnight doing good people, right? Suddenly, because the PPP, I can give you a list of about 20-something persons, many of them close to the Private Sector Commission, many of them close to Barajade Irfan Ali, and all these people owe taxes, the millions of dollars of taxes. And for all these years, the PPP were able to them because they were all friends, they were buddies, they used to eat crab curry together and all kind of things. You didn't know that taxes weren't paid for these vehicles. You didn't know that they were evading taxes. You didn't know that they were wannabe gangsters. You didn't know all of those things. So suddenly the PPP knows it because they all fell out. Suddenly. What about the others who are not paying taxes too? But if you're going to go after these individuals, go after every one of those PPP cronies who are not paying taxes. Go after. Now, the problem with the PPP and the Mohammeds, it's a personal problem. They're after each other, personal problems. That's what it is one get rich and one get richer than the other one. And Jagdeo doesn't like people who get richer than him. And so the problem is personal. One is using the state resources to go after the other, and the other one wants to clean up his act, is going out and sprinkling little crumbs here and there. And that is what's happening. Lots of so-called businessmen and women do not pay their taxes. And the PPP should be able to go after everyone. Not just these Qatars, the Mohammeds, them, not just them, everyone who don't pay their taxes. Now, they've had over 9 months to do what they're doing now to the Mohammeds, them. 9 months they should have been doing. But the fact that they're doing it now makes it appear as though it's political. Makes it appear as though it's political. It's vindictiveness. That is what it appears to do. But they're all families. They're all friends. And at the end of the day, they will all make up. They will all settle their differences. And the ones who are all emotional, they will cry some bitter tears. Conned. Be careful. Guys like Sherwin Green, be careful. Do not be conned because of emotions. That's all I wish to say. And no, I'm not picking on Sherwin. Sherwin and I have our disagreements, but we're brothers. Moving on now. There's an issue. There's an issue, but before, let's go back to this here. When Courtney Crummy Wing was assassinated 10 years ago, I'm sure these very people who suddenly are talking about human rights didn't give a damn then. Didn't give a damn about hundreds of people who were slaughtered. Maybe some of them were part and parcel of phantom squads and killing squads as well. So they didn't care. They didn't care then, and they can't say they care now to me. So now, Courtney Crummy Wing was slaughtered. The AFC benefited. And what I mean by benefited, they held wake and all sorts of things just before the 2015 elections. Oh, big wake and all these things. Have we seen anything? And if you guys saw anything that the AFC or even the coalition did, I'll give the PNC a pass on this here. But the AFC held on to Courtney Crummy Wing. But for some reason now, I'm still waiting to see whether the AFC did something, a night of reflection for Courtney Crummy Wing. Invite members of the family at the AFC's headquarters, just like they had wake at the AFC headquarters during the elections time 2015. Or is it that Courtney Crummy Wing made the sacrifices, got votes for the coalition, mainly the AFC held on to him, and then they're gone. They're gone. That's it. Courtney Crummy Wing, dead and gone. That's it. Anything on the AFC's page? I'm not sure I saw anything on the PNCR's page. But anything specifically on the AFC's page. If you guys saw anything about Courtney Crummy Wing on the AFC's page, please show it to me and I ask for an apology. But all day, I haven't seen anything at all. Nothing. But you know, contrast that with the PPP. The PPP would have made that a huge issue. A huge issue. They would have. Every single thing, PPP would have made it an issue. But we take a lot. We take a lot for granted. Those in the opposition, we take a lot for granted. And then when you talk, they get vexed. When you talk, the bumps raise. But I'm almost certain, and this is what's going to shock some of you guys, and some of you, maybe your bumps will raise and you'll get vexed and suck your teeth. But what if Courtney Crummy Wing name was Prakash Gorbadan, and he was a coalition supporter, AFC supporter, assassinated by the PPP regime? Prakash Gorbadan. Do you think the treatment would have been different for Prakash Gorbadan compared to a Courtney Crummy Wing, former Queen's College student, former lieutenant, I believe, of the Guyana Defense Force? I don't know. Sometimes when you talk, people get vexed, the bumps raise, all manner of things. They get vexed, the bumps raise, and then they say, Mark this, Mark that, Mark hate this body, Mark all manner of things saying. Scatteration all over the place. Courtney Crummy Wing's mom, Donna, and his entire family, we here at 107.1 FM, we remember Crummy Wing. We salute him for his sacrifices made. We salute him for his serving his country. We salute him for his bravery. If only his name was Prakash. Then, right, Nancy? Right, Neville? Right, Aaliyah? Right, Janet? Right, Yvonne? But Yvonne is asking a question here. But Mark, if they didn't remember, what will be raised? Fair enough. Let me remember, because it doesn't mean anything to them. Because his name is not Prakash Gorbadan. His name is not Prakash Gorbadan. His name is Courtney Crummy Wing. That's all it is. Thank you, Rhonda Lane. May his soul rest in peace. Latifa. I don't know, but It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Sometimes I feel we are just too confused. In every way, priority all screwed up. Running and embracing people who don't even like y'all, who don't even think highly of you. Yeah, I'll continue. Continue. So this popped up here. ICE now arresting people with green cards as Rubio promises deportation. So green card, people with green card getting arrested. If you go out and you protest against Hamas and so forth and so on, they're coming after you. They're coming after you. Democracy in full swing. In full swing. Last Friday's program, I was talking about Civic, and Civic was talking about his situation and how they went after him. They destroyed that man's family, destroyed that man's life. In a sense, he hasn't recovered. He hasn't recovered. That's Civic. He's watching us. He is Neville Sital. You'll see it there. Neville Sital, known as Civic. Jagdeo, they destroyed his life, destroyed his family's life. He has some brilliant kids, bright kids. Now some very brilliant grandkids as well. Destroyed him. And just the other day, I had to talk to Civic. I said, Civic, you cannot call Jagdeo Lordship. You cannot. Jagdeo is the devil. Jagdeo is Satan himself. He's wicked. He's vindictive. He's a conniving. He's a wretch. That is Jagdeo. Jagdeo destroyed this man's family, Civic. I see Frank Rice asking, who is he? Frank Rice, if you don't know who's Civic, well, then we should be asking Frank Rice or Frank Rice, who are you if you don't know Civic? All right? Everybody knows Civic, right? Neville Sital. Go on his page and you'll find out who Neville Sital is. He's Civic. Civic. Jagdeo de at war now. Not so long. Just the other day, just last year time. Local government elections. Nazar Mohammed. Fighting equality and justice for all. And leadership and all these things. Vote PPPC. Vote PPPC. Don't be surprised if they make a U-turn and right back there again. Vote. Nazar. They get little problems now, but it doesn't mean they're going to rectify it. Read between the lines what's going on, guys. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled. As Jagdeo coming by your gate and knocking, do not be fooled, guys. Remember? Do not be tempted. Do not be brainwashed by certain individuals. Right, Auntie Data?
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata from City, Vietnam. And since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
They have to lose by one vote, them losing it by data. Them losing it by data. Data. What else is happening in your neck of the woods? I know it's a new time. We're on from 9 o'clock now. From 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. And somebody earlier go on with their ricketics in this comment section, but SHIT and all kind of, this is not a place for that. Simple as that. So whoever bumps gonna raise, this is a place where we have civilized discussions. We don't have it like Jagdeo, the page where they cost them and say who would do this and who would do that and who would do this. We do not operate like that at all. We disagree, we make fun. I notice some fun people. The only person who is not in the section right now is Tony Hack. Probably wasn't able to pay his bill, his internet bill, so he's not with us tonight. Francine Cruz probably as they usually, people from the nursing home accuses Francine of thieving bingo money. I don't know, maybe that's the case again. And then there's some of them who, because they can't control things, they're peeping. They may coming on, but they're peeping. They're peeping. They may want to delete themselves off of it, but they're peeping. They know who they are. They're peeping, peepers. All right, hey, here's what I want. Here's what I want to talk to you guys about. I'll show you a clip. And the police force is where it is today because of corruption. And big businessmen and big politicians, big so-called businessmen, feel that they can corrupt the police force. Corrupt. That's why we are where we are today, and keep an eye out for some of them who suddenly feel that they believe in against injustices, and they help to corrupt the goddamn system, even the police force at the highest level. This is because of that. This is the result. Take a look, guys. I don't know, and I'll read your comments.
What's the police start your phone out here? This is fun. Lex, all to them beating him. Fine! Video them, video. What big fight? What they do themselves fighting? Run down in the back of the yard. Cookie come with the speed. Oh shit. They could get shoot, They could get shoot them by beating them. This is like desperate. They get charged,
That's Guyana compliments of the corrupt PPP regime, the murderous PPP regime, and corrupt businessmen who made these things happen, so-called businessmen who feel they can buy the commissioner of police, they can buy deputy commissioners, assistant commissioners, they could walk into a police station and just buy everybody out. Allegations of murders and knocking people down on the road and little kids getting killed and not one day in a police station to be questioned by these corrupt businessmen who feel they can buy their way out of things. Sherwin Green, pay attention. Now let's go back to this video here. This is where Guyana is right now. Now, I don't know what happened, what transpired, but this is where Guyana is right now under a corrupt PPP regime facilitated by corrupt businessmen.
What's the police start your phone out here? This is fun. Lex, all to them beating him. Fine! Video them, video. What big fight? What they do themselves fighting? Run down in the back of the yard. Cookie come with the speed. Oh shit. They could get shoot, They could get shoot them by beating them.
Now let's call a spade a spade. Be honest. What are your thoughts on what happened there? What are your thoughts on what you just saw there? This is the sort of, no, I don't know what transpired before. I'm definitely, I don't know what transpired. But one of the things that police, and this is not blaming the policemen there, but police are they're called peace officers. If you go on a situation on a scene and there's a situation that you can calm it down, do whatever it takes to calm a situation down, no matter what. Now, if your life is threatened, then it's a different story. Now, if you're having an exchange with someone, I don't, this is the part of the video that I'm seeing. Why grab a man's phone out of his hand? Just grab it. The police in Guyana have to start doing their jobs. I'm not saying all of them don't, but they have some of them who believe that because they wear the uniform, that they're above the law. They mean that they can talk, some of them, that they can talk to people anyhow, and that they can do people anything at any time, and they don't give a rat's about what they do to people. Again, I'm not saying that I don't know what happened before. I don't know what led to this situation. But what angered that young man was the grabbing of the phone. Snatch it. It's humiliating. And in my opinion, there was no reason for snatching and grabbing someone's. The police do not have, a policeman or woman does not have the authority to grab somebody's phone like that, snatch it out of their hands. Oh, give me this. Bam, snatch it. And that is what caused the problem. Now, they can cuss all they want, the police cuss, they cuss. Cussing, maybe in Guyana Constitution, maybe it's a crime. But police, they need proper training. They need to know how to conduct themselves in public. They need to know how to talk to individuals. They need to do that. The police, they're not above the law. If they walk into a situation, they must be able to calm that situation down. Those young men, of course, blood hot. You see the policemen taller than them, and they got to be from quarantine. They can't be from Georgetown or Linden or Bartica. They're from quarantine. Either Firish, Manchester, Alnis, Eversham. Forget about Philippines. We don't, right? They can't be Tongman or Linden man at all. They charging on them police like that. Again, I'm not condoning this sort of violence, but take a look at this video and you'll see exactly where, at least from this part of the video. Again, I'm saying I don't know what transpired before, but I'm just talking about how this matter was handled by the police. Take a look.
All of them? What's the police snatch your phone out here?
Bossy chain. This is gone.
Lex, all to them beating you. Why? Video them, video. What big fight? What did you them still fighting? Run down in the back of the yard. Look at the speed. Oh shit. They could get shoot, you know. They could get shoot them by beating them.
Let's call a spade a spade. Like, the song of that spade is like I heard it all the way here in the studio. Now, again, I'm not condoning the police shouldn't disrespect people. Police shouldn't abuse people. And then I do not condone people beating up police. But what led to this problem should never have been where it is at that level. It should never have been that way. If the police had calmed the situation down, calmed those two young men down, that's all. But the minute you snatch the phone like that, all hell broke loose. The police encouraged that sort of disrespect to them. And the young men had no other choice than to retaliate. Because in the hood, it is called disrespect. The police got to learn. Again, I'm not condoning any sort of violence. It was wrong on both sides. Both sides, it was wrong. The violence should never have gotten to that level. But the police should have known better. That's all I'm saying, guys. I don't want anybody to run with the wrong idea to say that I'm celebrating the beating up of cops. I'm not. I'm saying the police should have handled that situation better. That's all I'm saying. And I'm just calling a spade a spade. We see them shard, them too shard, guys. And those police tall and strapping like Theodore Adams and them tall and strapping. Typical example. Lilacs could cut down big trees. We just saw it. In case you miss it, look what happened.
All of them. What's the police start your phone out here? Bossy train. This is gone. Let's all to them beating it. Why? Video them. What big fight? What they do them still fighting? Run down in the back of the yard. Puppy come at the speed. Oh shit. They could get shot, you know. They could get shot by beating them. This is like desperate. They get charged, you know.
Now let's call a spade a spade. I did see a comment from Thomasine Roberts to say that the guy had his phone in the policeman's face. Now let's go back to the video again to see if that is true. Now, if that is accurate, then it changes somewhat the situation. Somewhat, not much.
All of them.
No. All the guy was doing, and he had every right to do that, he was videoing the policeman at a distance. About 3 feet away, he was videoing the policeman as the policeman was interacting with them. Now, my question to you guys, is that a crime? A lot of policemen and women in Guyana seem to think that it is a crime. It is not a crime. I have seen policemen and women whip out their phones and start videoing people just like that. It's not a crime to video police when they're doing their duties. Now, there's a difference in interfering with a crime scene and videoing. That young man, from what I saw there in that video, on that video, did absolutely nothing wrong. He was videoing, and the police must learn to control themselves. They must learn to temper themselves when it comes to dealing with situations like that. The police was wrong. He should not have snatched that young man's phone. That is what caused the problem. Now, I don't know what happened, like I've said, whether they pulled them in for bikes or license or they went into the area. I don't know. Roy Marshall is saying 3 feet. No, 3 feet cannot be too close. This is 3 feet. right there, right? If a policeman pulls you over in the US and they're right by the window, by your window, you're about a foot or 2 feet away and you're videoing. They can't kill you, or they can't snatch your phone because of that. 3 feet away is reasonable. Sean Anthony Ben, good night. Officer Spade. Now, we're not condoning violence, but it's time, and under new government, because you can't expect this with a corrupt police force. They get so-called businessmen bribing police, corrupt murders, corrupt money laundering, gold smuggling, all kind of thing. You know how many so-called businessmen paid senior police officers to cover up murders or to charge individuals with murders and other stuff that they're not responsible for? Yes, corrupt businessmen, somehow polishing themselves to make it look as though they like you guys and that they're for justice. Be careful, guys. Be careful. Now, let me see what Carla Smith is saying here. Carla Smith is saying, let me see what Carla Smith is saying. And some folks don't know that I'm on air, and when I'm on air, the message and all manner of things that's going with. Oh, man. Oh, me. All manner of things. Let me see here. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. You know, I ain't dealing with people like Sean Ben. You just got to respond to them. Sean Ben messaging me now. Sean, what, man? You know, I run a serious program here, and every minute I feel Sean Ben does this to distract me. Just to distract me. Yes, guys, sorry about that. So Carla is saying here, Mark, the policeman wasn't doing anything for them to record him. In other words, no cause. Now, I don't, like I've said to you, whether the policeman was doing anything or wasn't doing anything, the mere fact that the police there, they thought it best to video what there. So, Carla, respectfully, I disagree with you, my friend, on this issue. Whether the policeman was doing anything to be recorded or not is irrelevant. He's there. He's a policeman. They want to record to ensure everything is okay. Now, as we move away from that here, let me see what Nancy is saying before we move away. Did the police launch at the young man without just cause? They are gangsters, not cops. Nancy, come to the front of the class right now. Let me see who else. Carl Miller, I see your comment there, Carl. Now, Keith Isidan Henry Sr. Speaking to them is an encounter with the police. They were doing something. Okay, let me see here. Keith is saying, speaking to them is an encounter. Okay. I got you there, Keith. So they were doing something. And so the police was basically, there was an encounter, and the youngsters wanted to safeguard themselves. So they are videoing. And it's not a crime. Somebody said it should have been 6 feet and not 3 feet. It doesn't matter. When a state trooper pulls you over, they're right next to you. Your camera right there. Hi, good night, officer. How are you? Hey, good night. How are you? Okay, such and such. And story done. Not because a young man videoing you. That is what caused the problem, guys. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate that, my brother. So, Fidel Albert says, Sean, Ben is your family, Mark. Blood thick. Nice. When election's done, we're family again. But you are correct, Fidel Albert. So now let's go to, there's something else I want to, remember that police shooting in not Tiger Bay. The police shooting was in, let me see here. Let me do a response to Carla. So Carla Smith saying they were invading the policeman's space. Okay, Carla, I got you. If I had I'll bet that $2 that Carla Smith is a police or a former police, or maybe her husband is a police. You can't look. Carla come back again. She come this side, she twist it, it didn't work. She go back this side, she twist it, she trying to make it work, right? And so Carla come back, she comes back again and she said they were invading the policeman's space. I don't know what you mean by invading the policeman's space. The policeman went there to basically, like Keith Isidan Sr. said, a confrontation with the guys. The guys want to be safe and they bid you. There's no invasion of a policeman's space like that, Carla. Carla, don't do us that tonight, Carla. Okay, Carla says she works at a high school in California. Okay, Carla, we love you too. But let's agree to disagree. The policeman had no right to snatch the young man's phone. The young man wasn't doing anything wrong when he was videoing the police. So the police felt threatened. When you see, so Carla must be related to one of them big strapping policemen will get a spade. Right? Now, again, I'm not laughing. I'm not condoning violence. But Carla got to be related to one of them. We get the message, Carla. But what's the situation with that young man? Yeah, let me give you guys an example. You see how things happen in Guyana? A young man was shot in Rassville. I think his name is ISOCute or ICute or something like that. That's the end of the matter. No longer in the media. Nobody really cares. No one cares about justice. You don't see them moving through the Zoom in Rassville. They can move to take pictures, and that's what it is, a Santa Claus moment on an elections year, in an elections year, right? But nobody cares about the people in Rassville. Those who usually say they care. What happened? What happened to that young man that was shot by members or a member of the Guyana Police Force? What has happened? Has he recovered? Has he passed on? I hope not. Has he been charged? Because remember, the police say he wanted for this, he wanted for that, wanted for all sorts of things he wanted for. All sorts of things he wanted for. He wanted for some, I'm surprised that they didn't say that he's wanted for something in Princess Street or North Road and these are, I'm surprised. Can anyone who right now there in the comment section, Hakeem barely get money for his motorbike. But anyone from probably watching this show right now, what's the situation with that young man who was shot by a member of the Guyana Police Force? Has that policeman been placed under close arrest? Has that policeman been investigated to see whether his version was correct or not? Or nobody cares, right, Hazel? Nobody cares. But when you talk, they get vexed. Y'all got to open y'all eyes, you know. Not everything that glitters is gold. And not every donation is good donation. Not every money is clean money. Robin Morgan says he's in prison. All right. He's in prison for what? It could be trumped up charges. It could be all manner of things. But because his name is not Prakash Gorbadan. Again. Right, Rajan? Because his name is not Prakash Gorbadan. You shoot him, you accuse him of crimes, and you dump him in prison. Look at so many people, so-called big business people get accused of all sorts of things. Murders, gold smuggling, money laundering, tax evasion, drugs, terrorism. And y'all rushing to embrace some of them. Oops, shades. But a youth man from whether Tiger Bay, whether Rossville, wherever, get accused of some frivolous, snatch some pockets, snatch some chain, and that's how the police deal. That's how they go about the deal with these young youths in the quote-unquote ghettos or economically depressed communities. And so that is why those youngsters have to protect themselves with their cameras. The cameras now become, their phone cameras become their only weapon that they can use now. They don't want no violence against the police. But if the police disrespect them, what do you think they're going to do in the ghetto? If the police cuff them or snatch them, what do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do? Them ain't going to stand up and turn the other cheek. And again, let me say, we're not condoning violence here. All we're saying is the police need to get their act together. It starts with the leadership. Because if the leadership, top brass, most of them are corrupt, and they take monies from money launderers, gold smugglers, and they corrupt murderers. They hold a long press conference to cover up a murder. Then they want the youths to respect them. Now, I don't know who these two policemen are. I don't know them. And I'm not saying that one had a right to get that spade or whatever. I'm just calling a spade a spade. You know, I hope those two policemen, I hope they're okay. And I hope lessons learned. Approach the public differently. And members of the public also should respect the police, because sometimes members of the public could go overboard. You got to respect the police force. The police force got to respect us. It's a two-way street. You give respect, you earn respect. If you go with brute force and ignorance, you never know what's going to happen during that process. Both ways. But the police should know better, and they should have a better understanding in dealing with the public. That's all I wish to say at this time. I hope all of those young men, the two youngsters and the two big strapping policemen, who allow those them shard guys, them two shard guys. Yes, Nancy, Hazel, Victor, Janet, all of you guys. What am I going to do without you guys? Some of you, what? I wish one day I'll be so lucky to get 80,000 acres of land that all of us can build houses upon houses upon houses on 8,000 acres. Some of you can't even get 8 acres. Some of you can't even get a 50 by 100 house lot. Some are just lucky to get 80,000. Miss Booker, we're out of here. 80,000. Remember, our new time is 9 o'clock, right here on 107.1 FM. 107.1 FM. Yep. We'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. Thank you all. Thank you all. And the police, again, let me show you guys. Again, I don't want to disrespect this sister. I don't want to. It's already out on social media all over. But our policemen and women, what you do outside of your uniform, it's okay. It's your private life. Within the confines of your homes and so forth, it's your private life. But when you have on your uniform, respect it.
Friends, right now I want to up and down. Come bounce for this
Up and down. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. I'm not going to play that video again. Let me, we're not going to play it again. I promise. Because I feel sorry for that policewoman. She means well, don't get me wrong. But the excitement, you know what is it when you get some money in your hands? I feel that way too. Tingling, chingling, somebody send me $100 on Cash App. I feel good. So again, I'm not laughing at that policewoman because I want to laugh up and down. No, I'm not. And so I deleted the video. You guys are not going to see it again. And so for that policewoman, I understand your the fact that you got some money and you just feel happy about it. But in your uniform, conduct yourself better. The uniform. Apologize for playing that a couple of times for that woman. It's out of excitement. Somebody video her and decided to post it. And so I'm finished with airing that video. But we can do better as a people. Do better, guys. And we can do better. That is all. Wayne Caesar, thank you so much. Great show last Saturday. People complained that it wasn't on Bench Up Radio website. My apologies to all of you. Of course, it was a technical hiccup. And Wayne will be back with us sometime this week right here on 107. Also, Tom Anderson and others. Somebody says, show it again, Margaret Nelson. No, I'm not showing it again. And nobody can come on Bench Up Radio and bounce up and down. It's done with y'all. Y'all too wicked. All right. If any of you out there celebrating your birth anniversary, happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating making a little or something today, God bless you. Any anniversary, if you were, somebody for you passed away, we are with you. Our condolences as well. And if you're celebrating, like the Bench Up Immigration Consultancy, we had some clients Friday, I think it was Friday, they celebrated, they had fun. Was it Friday or Thursday? They had fun. This was their swearing in ceremony as new citizens of the United States of America. Take a look. Congrats to all of our clients through the Bench Up Consultancy, Immigration Consultancy. Not bad. And just another certificate of naturalization. March 10th, another certificate of naturalization was issued. Congrats to that individual. And that is how we do it at Bench Up Immigration Consultancy. I'm out of here, guys. And don't forget, if you have any immigration case that you want us to handle, feel free to give us a call. But for now, I'm out of here. God bless you all. Thank you so much.